Yo, how's it going, everybody? How are we all doing today? Today's video, I wanted to go and talk about this new pit challenge tier raid, some of the better teams to use here, and keeping in mind that, we want to try to get the most accessible teams out there to the player base with what is the lowest output that you can get and the highest rewards. You don't want to be, investing Relic 5 into crappy characters like a Jawa team. Although the Jawas can get the job done pretty well, we have some other options here for you guys out there who are not really feeling like Relic 5ing your Jawas anytime soon. But we will go over some of these ones that are really for whales, but I'd love to go over the other ones that are for more free-to-play friendly, or just ones you get over time playing the game. So this is a raid. This is a new raid that just came out. You have to have a pretty beefy guild and a pretty high GP guild to do it. You have to have Relic 5 to even attempt with your characters in any of these raids, any of these phases in the raids rather. And we're also going to go over some rewards at the very ending, how I feel about the rewards and the reward system. So without further ado, let's go and swap over to some info that is really important information for any of this raid stuff. So this is taken from a Discord channel. And you can see here, challenge Rancor P1. It's one of the Discords. So this person Rage created this post, and it's a very good post. We can see here, he goes over the Jawas in P1. P1, there's really two god tier teams. I'll say that there's really two god tier teams. One of which is the Jawas, but the other one is actually not placed here. You don't see it in this post. But you can still use the other team, which is very good for phase 1. But the team for the Jawas is Ray Scavenger, or Jawa Scavenger, and then Nebbit, Jawa Engineer, and then Watt. You pretty much place the tank tech onto Chief Nebbit. They get a bunch of extra detonator stacking, and you're good to go there. It's a very easy, but not many people have the Jawas built up. So the other one you can use here, which is going to be one of the most accessible teams out there for you if you have a Ray with your 5s, and rather your gas, is using the gas lead with Ray. And this one's really good. I use this actually in my phase 2 run, and it got me some good extra percent. You can use really any of these teams anywhere you want to, but keep in mind most of these work better in specific phases, like the Jawas work better in phase 1 rather than they work in phase 2, 3, or 4 with the Rancor. But you can see here, this is the gas team, although the better team, in my opinion, the best for phase 1, is one over here. I have a video I want to share with you guys. Is one using this team in P1, and it gets you, it says here 11% plus, but you can actually, if you have it correctly with the right mods, with the right strategy, you can push for like 18%. So I don't know the numbers, the millions of damage, what that translates into percent. I don't know that. But if I were to guess, I would assume it's like around 7-8 million, which is pretty close to that 20% threshold if I were to remember correctly. So in this one, this is the team I'm talking about. This is the one you want to use because you can actually save a gas for another Jedi team, which is going to be really great for you. And this is what I want to build up next time. I don't have Relic 5 on my Rex, so I'll need to get him up for this team. But this is a great team to use. So there's a whole strategy. I'm actually going to leave a link to this video down below in the description. And if you guys really want to get into the nitty-gritty part of the details of this run, I will let you know there. And I also, maybe if I can get my hands on this own team and build it up once I get my Relic 5 Rex, I'll probably do my own little testing with it in the phase 1 and see the max damage I can get here, and maybe make a little video on that as well. But this is the team. We're not using gas here. This is all about Rex and making sure that he can reduce his cooldowns with the 3 stacks of translation from 3PO over and over again to get the maximum amount of aerial advantages, aka his Rexolate. So you want to postpone using your special with Rex from the very get-go, so that way it's easier to get 3 stacks without losing any stacks. And then you always want to be giving out the lifeblood to your 5s, because he'll be the one taunting for the majority of the battle, because you want to always be calling in 3PO with that assist from 5s, which can reduce the cooldowns of your Rex. So you have potentially, let's count it up. You got a 5s assist, and you got the Master's Training assist, and then of course you have the just basic from 3PO whenever he goes and uses his own turn. But you potentially have 3 to 4 characters who can keep reducing the cooldowns of Rex's abilities by 1. So you can really start spamming those abilities. And you can also get the 3 stacks of Confuse onto the Gamorrean Captain, which can do even more damage, which is great. So one key thing here that this person mentioned, like I said, I'm going to go and leave you guys this whole thing down below if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty parts and details of it. But pretty much, you want to be saving your ultimate for when he is going straight into the what's it called? The OP mode where they just go popping off, like the crazy mode with all the extra damage. I'm forgetting the name of that. Really, I'm kind of upset I can't remember that. Enrage, that's what it is. Enrage. You want to be saving that for Enrage. So I think in this one, he kind of mistimes it, and he doesn't get it, and he kind of screwed himself over a little bit. He could have gotten a bit more damage off. So that's why we're saying you get a lot more percent if you would like to. So he's using the ultimate now, which is totally fine, I feel like. But you always want to make sure you have it up and ready to go when it is the Enrage timer going off. And the ultimate with raised damage, she does really no damage outside of her Whirlwind. So it's not doing much here. She's really only here for the lifeblood. She really is only here for the lifeblood. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit, guys. Speed it up a little bit. So we started 100% from the very beginning of the run, and over time we're going to be doing some more damage with our Rex's Annihilate. So this is 10% in, and I think this person gets around 11% plus. But like we said, he could have easily gotten more damage if he would have timed it properly. But as you can see here, his mistake was right here. So he went into ultimate. He went into ultimate before the guy was even in his his enrage mode, which is not good. You wanna make sure that you have that for when he's actually in enrage, not like prepping yourself for enrage. You want to actually use it when he's getting close. So a bit of a missed time, which is maybe a bit unlucky. If that is like the case here, you can always just kind of reset your run and try to get the most bang for your buck. And another thing I want to talk about here in a little bit is how to really make this most efficient for your guild, of how to make these phases even easier. So he mistimed the ultimate. Probably could have got a bit more percent off, and maybe you want to make some more plays in and out of these runs to really maximize your damage. But that's that. The other thing I want to talk about is just in general, when we're talking about this raid, when a guild is, since it's a guild raid, and you want to think about guilds and stuff like that, you want to always make sure that if you can possibly get your entire guild on at the same time, that way you can do as much damage and disregard rather the 20% stacking or the 20% health that you lose and the bonuses that you get from the Rancor and even the Morning Captain. You want to just kind of blast through all that extra bonuses from these characters. So that's why if you can get your guild on at the same time to go through all of that damage in one go without making your life miserable with having to go through all of that percent one by one, having them have that stacking speed and offense. So that's why it's really important to have your guild on at the exact same time or around the same time for these different phases. So I mean, it's not that bad, honestly. You can probably have around 10 or so people on at the same time, and you get through each phase very easily if you have these teams built up. So that is one pretty big thing I would like to mention just right there, is making sure your guild's on the same time so you don't have to worry about the extra speed and offense stacking. So this is another team I want to go over. This one is actually great for phases 2 and 3, and I'm pretty sure for 4 as well. But this is one if you have Mash or Luke and you want to use your gas maybe with somebody else. Well, this is great. Kitty Mooney is a part of this, which is probably not accessible for many, but it's a cool screenshot. I've also seen a screenshot without Kitty Mooney and just using gas instead and getting around the same amount of damage. But it is a nice thing to see, especially if you have Kitty Mooney and JML unlocked. But you don't have... If you don't have Cam, rather, you can use gas, and you're going to be getting that around the same amount of damage, which is around, I'd say, around 5%, I think, for 3 million. I could be wrong there. So that's a great one. This is one that's a very popular one right now in the game. This is a Kylo with the Night Sisters, and a lot of revives, a lot more assists, a lot more damage, which is amazing. So this one is great for phases 1 and saving this for phases 4. Phases 2 and 3 are really about the Jedi and the Padme teams as well. You want to be saving these really big boy teams for the harder phases, which in my opinion, phases 1 and 4. Phase 4 rather, is one that you really don't want to have to worry about too much. There's a lot that just goes on, but if you have a pretty big size guild, you're going to be just fine. There's not much to worry about here in regards to the raid. This is really just about maximizing your damage, honestly, and just trying to get on at the right times to help the guild and not have to worry about the extra stacking offense and speed if you don't time it correctly. So this is one great team with Kylo. I think this is around, I want to say 15% plus damage, and this is you can see this is phase 1. In the background I see the captain. So that's a great team to use. And then we have, let's see here, we got to go back to this little screenshot here. We're going to see the other phases, phase 2 from this little Discord post. And this is actually a pretty important thing right here. You want to be making sure when you do first go into any Rancor phase, you want to be bringing in a solo character that is Relic 5 to eat up the Devour, because even though it might not say the Devour is ready to use, it is ready to use for the Rancor. So you want to make sure that you can stop that immediately. So a great person to use is, well, Relic Rose Tico. She is Relic 5. You needed her for the Ray requirements, so you want to bring her in first, eat up the Devour, and then you go into the actual run itself, which is a very, very important part to phases 2 and even 3 and 4. So phase 2, we can see here, they mentioned some bounty hunters. Again, this is not the most accessible team because you need Aura, which is a Relic 5. But if you have them built up, you need around 5%. JKR, Hoda, JKL, Gas, and Bastilla, around 6%. And that's a pretty accessible team, I would say. Not the hardest to get required. And then you have the one we just kind of went over, which is with JKL, Lead, JML, Barris, Anakin, and Cam. That was around 8%. So that was actually an 8% run. And then if you wanted to, you can swap around those guys. Maybe use, if you don't have a Cam, you can use some other Jedi here, like an Ayla. And that can get you a bit more percent damage depending on how you played out the RNG, who survives those big hits, and just like the amount of damage. And especially the modding. I would say modding is a very, very big part here with getting even more percent damage. So keep that in mind. Modding is actually pretty important here. And it's going to get you a bit more percent damage in the raid and a bit more millions of damage over time. And then, of course, you can even use in phase 2 the Kylo team if you wanted to. But in my opinion, I would rather save that team for, you know, the other tough phases like phase 1 and phase 4. The ones that are going to get you a bit more damage. And just honestly more score because you want to get those rewards, honestly. So phase 3, kind of the same exact thing as phase 2. Same sort of teams. And then phase 4, you got the Kylos. You can even use Padme. I don't have any screenshots of the Padme team, but I have easily seen Padme getting around the exact same scores as, you know, the JKLs, the JKRs, and the JMLs, and sometimes pushing towards those Kylos. Around, I'd say, 5 to 8%, even sometimes 10%. You can also slot in Ray on those teams, and you're going to get a lot more score. So overall, you know, the conclusion of the teams and what we're going to be looking like for all these different phases, we're thinking about and we're looking at really one great team for phase 1, which is that video we just saw with the Ray and the Rex, with all those other supporting cast members, getting around 18% for phase 1. That's one team. And then if you have another GL like a JML, well, you can use that guy with your other Jedi. You can get around another 5 to 8%. And if you have a Kylo with a Night Sister, that gets you another around 15 or so %. However, if you don't have, like I don't have my Night Sister Spirit, or my Night Sister Zombie built up to Relic 5, you can't use that team. So instead, if you wanted to, you can still use a full-on First Order. And that gets you around, I'd say around 5% or so. Not that much, but it's still a good chunk. And that's going to be great for really any phase as well. So like we said, guys, this raid is not the hardest raid. It just takes some planning, and you got to be some smart Alex with, you know, who you're using. You got to actually play. You can't just auto this raid. You got to really make sure what you're doing is the right moves. And, you know, if you do that correctly, you're going to get some okay rewards. So I say that, but I'm actually going to start us off with some really bad rewards. So this is this is rather rank 1 in my guild. This is Mick Tucker, and rank 1 rewards give you 10 parts of this the shock prod, and then you get 20 of these other pieces and 15 of the other ones. These are garbage, but you get 11 of those other ones, and you need 20 to get Relic 8. So I mean, I don't know about these rewards so far. I mean, that could just be RNG with how bad he got with the luck. And then we got some like rank 22 rewards, which were actually pretty dang good. This is deranged for my guild. So this is like one of those, I feel like, just really randomized rewards. Like, it's not very leveled. It's not very even with like what it gives out, because this is definitely better than the rank 1 rewards in my opinion. A full-on stun gun is huge. 15 of the cuffs and then 10 of the eyeballs. Amazing stuff. The only difference that's really, really notable is that you get only 5 of these Relic 8 materials over the 11 that the other guy in first place got. I mean, so that's a pretty big difference, but at the moment, I am in no rush to get Relic 8. I would still love to get the actual, you know, guns, carbs, chirotechs, all that sort of stuff over any Relic 8. So I'm okay. I'm not in any rush to get Relic 8, but just know that this is very, very RNG with like how it's spread around. I got like in the 30s. I did not get that much great stuff. I got like around 3 of these Relic 8 materials, so not the best. I wasn't on for all the attacks, but you can still get some good rewards, even if you don't get, you know, top 10 or so. But guys, I want to kind of stop it there. This is some good info, I'd say. This is stuff that I've just kind of gotten over the past few days in the discords I've been looking at. These are the best teams I've seen so far that do the most work. You could, like we said, we don't all have Relic 5 zombies. We don't really have Relic 5 Jawas. Maybe you don't even have like a full-on JML team. You can still use your Gas 501st. You can still use a full Padme team. You can still get some good percent. Just know that if you have like a GL Ray or a GL Kylo or even a GL Jedi Master Luke, you will get a lot more percent damage. Rey is probably one of the biggest superstars in this raid with her lifeblood. And it is actually kind of funny to see because we just saw in the Sith raid not too long ago with Kylo soloing it, and Rey does like nothing pretty much in that whole raid. But now it's kind of flipped around a little bit. Rey can do a lot more stuff with how she can be used with lifeblood over Kylo. Kylo can do pretty good stuff, but you need like Relic 5 zombies, and I'm not about that life, you know, I'm not about that. But it's cool to see some of these guys in action, and guys, the biggest thing here is there's way more people to theory craft this and to figure out more. This is only the first time around for this, so hopefully this whole little guide here with the best teams to use for the pit will help you in the further runs for your guild, and just getting some more millions of damage and some more percent. So that's probably going to conclude it for today. If you guys have any other teams that you think I might have missed out on or didn't talk about, let me know down below. I also know I only went and showed one video for today, and that's because there's really not many people out there testing that I've seen so far that are worth mentioning. But I do like that one video with the Rey and the Rex. I think that's very, very worth mentioning. Again, I will put that down below in the description link. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like, share it around, and sub to the channel if you guys are new here. Besides that, we got a Discord and we got a Patreon. Go check them out down below, guys. And that'll do it for me today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out and have a good one.